Hey guys, it's Ollie once again with Free Your Zen. Nice to see you again. Nice to make another video. I've not been watching porn now for roughly the past 30 days, and the differences I've seen have been quite monumental actually. So why did I actually initially stop watching porn? Well, one thing I noticed was, that's a creaky floorboard, that's not what you think it was. It's a creaky floorboard. Why did I stop watching porn? I stopped watching porn essentially because I noticed that I was losing control. I was losing control of the desire to watch porn. It was mostly not from a choice. It was from a deeper desire of the monkey mind to satisfy its dopamine urges. Now, over the past year, I've paid close attention to the habits that I have that either distract me or provide a dopamine hit or or basically unhealthy habits that once had a justification of me for keeping them in my life. The past year, I've been removing those habits one by one, and it's been leaving me with like a greater sort of like vividness to what's going on in life, for better or for worse sometimes. But what has actually changed as a result of removing porn from my life? A fair few things actually. Number one, more self-control. Greater amount of self-control. So when I exercise the willpower, initially the first couple of weeks were quite difficult, I'm not going to lie, but by exercising the willpower and saying no and feeling that desire and just sitting with the sensation, allowing it to rise and fall, allowing it to pass, I was able to sort of sharpen the blade, as it were. And this has had a knock-on effect in other areas of my life too. Greater amounts of self-control, greater discomfort tolerance, being able to actually sit with unpleasant feelings and sensations and let them pass. See, I'm in the mindset that most people walk around with a kind of background static of anxiety or sort of sadness or depression or something, but the distraction methods are so intense, varied and enticing that we don't actually ever feel those feelings fully. These feelings are sitting in the background and they influence our lives in a variety of different ways, and most of them are quite chaotic. Most of them are undesirable effects that we actually suffer as a result of not paying attention to these feelings. But by having a greater amount of self-control and willingness to actually sit with uncomfortable sensations like desires and cravings and stuff, I feel that I'm greater able to tackle things like that when they come up naturally. A greater sense of emotional resilience, I feel, has been a result of knocking porn on the head. Another one, I feel that the sexual, I don't really know much about Tantra, I don't really know much about all that sort of new agey stuff, but I do genuinely feel that for reasons that can even possibly be justified with science as well, that the sexual energy that drives a person can be channeled and used in other areas creatively also. But the thing is, when you are taking that sexual energy and you're channeling it into just sexual areas, and you're just fixing it, sort of like, say for instance, you get horny, you masturbate or something, you watch porn, whatever, you do that repeatedly, it's as if you're taking that sexual energy and you're just using it in one way only. But what I've actually noticed is an increase in my energy, creativity and drive as a result of knocking porn on the head, because I feel that the sexual energy that I'm not expending and expelling from my body, I'm kind of keeping within. This sounds a bit new agey, but I feel that's genuinely the case. I feel greater sort of energy and drive, and more sort of like, I don't know, call it a testosterone fueled desire to just get things done, which is actually quite helpful when things need doing. Another thing that's quite cool is I am feeling occasionally naturally horny again, and this is really weird, right? Because the habit element of watching porn and masturbating to it came up a lot. Like, it was just the habit that was driving me. It wasn't an actual intrinsic horniness and being turned on by something. It wasn't that. It was just the habit. Well, I'm here now, so gonna do that. If I'm in the shower, gonna do that, So what's actually come back as a result of knocking that on the head and abstaining from it is the fact that like natural horniness comes up. And it's quite interesting because it's a really weird feeling. But there are downsides to that. It can hit at random times during the day and you don't really anticipate it. It's like, yeah, going about my day, going shopping. Why do I feel like this? Damn it. Another cool thing I've noticed is I've got a greater sensitivity and pleasure to the ordinary things. I derive more pleasure from the ordinary things in life. And I noticed this like after sort of I think it was halfway through week 2, where I was staying from porn. I got out of my car, I was walking to my house, and I looked up, and I heard this blackbird chirping away, just chirping, and just like sat on the chimney chirping. And I noticed that, I was like, wow. I looked up at the blackbird and I was sort of like, I just stood staring at it for like a few minutes. And I was just thinking, that's bloody amazing. I don't know if these two events are correlated, but there'd been plenty more occasions like that keep occurring now as a result of, I don't know if it's a result of taking porn out of the equation, but I just say that there's an interesting link there, I feel, because what I tend to, and my research has confirmed this as well, dopamine tends to, I mean, when we experience pleasurable things, it's serotonin and dopamine in the brain that tend to release and we feel those pleasurable sensations. Whatever the external trigger is, it's dopamine that we feel coursing through our body when these things happen. And if you're constantly getting your dopamine hit from one source, then naturally logic dictates, doesn't it, that you're gonna become less sensitive to sources of dopamine from other areas too. Because think about it, right? How much pleasure are you really gonna derive from seeing a blackbird chirping away if you're just gonna like watch porn and wank all the time? Because the two won't compare. The dopamine hit you get from porn and wanking will be loads more than naturally from the blackbird. But obviously if you take that one out of the equation, then the dopamine's got to come from somewhere. So your brain naturally, it would seem, becomes more sensitive to these other sources of it. Another thing I've noticed is increased sensitivity during sex and increased intensity of orgasms as well, which is pretty cool, obviously. So you know, I noticed this because obviously when you are watching porn, it kind of sets expectations in your mind, right? Now, when I was in the midst of watching porn, what I tend to find is my expectations, implicit expectations about the sexual situation, would be sort of like wrapped up in the end result, yeah, me or the other person reaching orgasm. But actually, I've started to realise that sex is more of a process. It's more about enjoying the journey. You know, so yeah, so that is about it, guys. That is about it. That's everything I can think of right now. I'm sure there'll be a few more things. I'll put them in another video if I need to. But yeah, if any of the guys are watching out there, I hope that's enough to make you think about it, you know, because we're often told that pornography is fine. We're often told that pornography is nothing to worry about because seemingly everyone's watching it nowadays. But I've always been suspicious of that. I've always been like, doesn't seem too healthy to me. So either curbing it, monitoring the amount of porn that you watch, or getting rid of it completely, it will enhance your life, I guarantee it. And obviously I don't want to tell you how to live, whatever, do what you want, but I'm just saying this really helps. So that is the video for today. Hope that helped. Take care of yourselves, guys. If you like that video, thumb me up, subscribe to my channel, keep an eye out for future videos, check me out on Facebook or Instagram if you want. It's not a lot, it's quite a bit different to the channel actually. Check it out anyway. Take care, guys. Have a beautiful day.